Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Dani here for Dynamite Darts, and welcome back to episode 2 of On the Oche. This week, we are joined by Jack Langston, the darts referee, who is, I believe, to be the OG in the darts social media personality space. Jack, I'm a big fan of your content. Been watching for a couple of years now. Pleasure to have you on. How are you keeping?
Yeah, I'm really good, mate. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I always say as well to people, like, I put it in the descriptions of all my first videos as well. It's like, I started this channel, quite frankly, because I saw you doing it. I was like, you know what? Maybe there's room for a little Irish lad to do it as well.
Yeah, there's room for loads of people, man. It's just one of those things. If you can come up with your own stuff, or if you can come up with some like unique ideas, there's always going to be space for people like that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I agree. And like, I think the past few years with TikTok, it's just made it scary. People like literally gone from zero to like hero, I guess we'll call it, in like a matter of months. But the point of this conversation is more so a Jack, get a little bit behind the scenes of who Jack is as a person. We're going to start off with some quick fire questions, if that's all right, and then from there go into a chat. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. Right. Who is your favorite darts player of all time?
Adrian Lewis.
Nice. What's the most used app on your phone?
Twitter.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
But it's so good. It's so good. What would be one word to describe your playing style?
Relaxed. Now
I'm
left-handed. Relaxed.
good. I was going to say ambidextrous.
Yeah.
What's your darts nickname, if you're to have one?
It's just the darts referee. I haven't really got one.
It works though. If you could play a match against any player, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh, it'd have to be Eric Bristow, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%. What's the weirdest thing you've ever done for content, if any?
I was a tree surgeon. I once climbed a tree, put a dartboard in a tree, and threw darts about 50 foot up. So yeah, that was a bit random. That was
I do remember this.
Lockdown days.
Did you have a ladder, or did you just kind of have yourself with studs into the tree, or how did you get up?
So yeah, I got a ladder, went up a little bit, but I had all my tree surgery stuff on, so I had like my harness and my ropes and stuff. And I just climbed it as normal, put a little bracket, them little things you put the dartboard on the wall.
Yeah.
Screwed one of them into the tree, and it stayed. I think I even had a dartboard surround up there as well, and just sat up there for about an hour, filmed a bit, and then come down. And yeah, it was a bit random, but yeah.
Yeah, like a floating Oche, like fucking Aladdin's carpet or something as well.
Yeah, the distance and the height was definitely not correct.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
So I've only ever done one song on karaoke, but I've done it about 5 times, and it's a bit of a weird one. But it's Joe Dolce, "Shut Up Your Face." That
great tune.
If I get really, really drunk, that's what I want to do. But I never do karaoke. I have to be absolutely battered to do karaoke.
Which is the only way, I think. If you do karaoke sober, I think there's more questions to be asked there.
Yeah, I think so.
What's your walk-on song? What would that be then?
So my walk-on song for a while, or the one that I always put down, was "Ante Up" by MOP, like the Busta Rhymes remix. It's just a good backing track.
Song.
But then the Modus thing come around, and I was like, I've not listened to it in a couple of years. Let's just see what it's like. And there's so much swearing in it. And I was like, I don't know if it's a good walk-on. So I changed it last minute, and we went for Limp Bizkit, "Rolling."
Nice. What's the weirdest superstition you have or have seen when it comes to darts?
I wouldn't say I have any weird ones. There's nothing particular that I would do. I think the only thing I would say is, sometimes if I'm playing a particular way, I will choose my drink based on how I'm playing. So like if I don't know, if I feel like I'm lacking confidence, I don't know, Guinness is my confidence drink. But if I don't know, it's weird. I will either drink Guinness, or I'll drink lager, or I'll drink like vodka and Red Bull. And it just like I go into the day sort of like knowing which one I'm going to drink later, depending on how I'm feeling. It's a weird one. But other than that, I don't really have any, to be honest. I've not really seen any weird ones either. No, I'm not really sure.
Have you been to Dublin before?
Yeah, I've been twice.
Have you been to the storehouse?
What's that?
Have you been over to the Guinness storehouse?
No, I didn't go. No, I went over twice for Pro Tours. Sort of like probably 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
and just went for the darts, and that was it. We went into Dublin like the centre, but never did the Guinness tour or anything like that. It's on the list though.
Yeah, it needs to be done. Do you have any party tricks?
What is my party? I can solve Rubik's Cube. So if anyone's got a Rubik's Cube, that's always quite a cool one. It's like one in 1,000 that someone's like walking around with one. But it's quite cool that you can like just take it off them and just solve it and give it back to them. So that's my.
You should carry your own little one around.
Yeah, I've got quite a few of them to be fair. Yeah, just impress people.
Just floating around. Then last one, your opponent's not in the finish. You left with 170, 2 darts in hand, first 2 straight into the treble. Do you go for the ball or do you lay up?
I would probably go for the ball.
I think that's the only answer. Whenever people tell me lay up, I'm like, unless you're a pro player, go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's definitely like scenarios on other shots where I wouldn't go the ball route. I'd go a smart route, like a 1-2-4. I wouldn't go 14 if I hit a treble 21st dart. I'd go 16s or treble 8 or something. But if you're on a 170, you just got to go for it. I've only ever done one, like in an actual match, and I think I was 17 then, so that was 14 years ago. That's still the greatest thing I've ever done.
Oh, it's like the best. I think the only time I probably wouldn't though is if I'm playing with my team and like we need a win or something like that. But if I'm playing with myself, you just got to go for it. So with that, I guess like obviously you mentioned there you've been playing darts for a long time. How did you get into darts? A lot of people now are obviously coming into darts from the Luke Littler effect. It's a real thing. We've obviously seen the, I guess, benefits of that from our side in the social media realm. But was darts always a thing in your family? And then did you ever, at the time, I think when you're younger, like you played a lot, but when did you first get into it? And then what led you to then move into becoming a referee?
So in my like immediate family, there wasn't really any darts. So in like mum, dad's, they never played darts. But my granddad on my mum's side did play, and like I think like my earliest memory is watching Dennis Priestley play in the World Championships, which probably would have been like 3 or 4, I reckon. That is like when I rack my brains for like the first thing I remember is sitting in my granddad's house watching Dennis Priestley. So he played quite a lot. He played for a team and stuff, and he had a dartboard in his garage, and I just really enjoy watching him play. And he'd like pick me up and take me to the dartboard, and I'd grab a dart and like stab it in the bullseye. And that was sort of like the start of it. And then I kind of like I just always had a dartboard in my room, and I remember I hit my first 180 when I was about 9 years old, and it was like on the back of like the wardrobe, so it was not the correct distance. I was throwing from like a carpet divider that was already there, and it was probably about 6 foot off the ground or whatever. Like it wasn't like the proper height or distance. And I just played, and that was it. And then when I got sort of like old enough to the point where I could play on a full length board, and we used to go to the pub quite a bit. There was a like community centre near where we lived, and I used to go and play there. And then I met some people, and then that was it. I've pretty much played since then. So like 9 years old, really, 8, 9 years old.
Yeah, that was like your little alley pally back in the day. Like that's how everyone kind of starts. I remember I used to live. I think, do you call them chippers or chip shops in the UK?
Yeah.
I used to live over a chip shop, and in the back we had this like shed where we stored all the potatoes. And I had like the ceiling with like the floor wasn't level. The ceiling probably went 5 feet high. We just had that little board, and you just pretend to be. I remember the Unicorn released their Champion Series with all the guys and like the Men in Black.
Oh yeah.
In the suits, I had like the Phil Taylor and John Part darts, and you just like take one throw with the Phil Taylor darts, pretend you're Phil Taylor, hit a 26, then John Part goes in and misses the board a couple of times. But like, I think they're the fondest memories I have of darts, anyways. And with that, then like, how did you get into refereeing off the back of that? What age were you when you kind of started doing that? And I'm always curious, well, how does one become a referee on the pro tour?
So we go back to this community centre that I used to play in. So on a Sunday, every single Sunday, we used to play winner stays on, and if you wanted to play, you had to chalk. So you chalk a game, and then you play the next game. If you won it, you stayed on. If not, you went back to the bottom of the list. But there was two guys who I used to play darts with a lot. One of them was a guy called Colin, who I still play darts with now, and another guy was a guy called Gary, and they were both like very good Super League players in the area. So they weren't like amazing, but they both played like Super League or county a bit. And obviously 12-year-old me was nowhere near that sort of level.
Yeah.
So all I used to do every Sunday, 4 or 5 hours, I would just play winner stays on, loser chalks, which meant that I was pretty much chalking every other game. Like I might nick a leg here and there, and I might stay on for 2 games. But for the most part, out of the 5 hours, 4 or 5 hours I was there, I probably spent 2+ hours chalking, them two playing each other. So I got really good at the maths stuff really, really quickly. And then sort of fast forward a few years, I got to 17, learned to drive, and then there was the darts exhibition coming up, and I'd never played in a darts. I'd never been to a darts exhibition. It was the Steve Beaton one. It was about 40 minutes from my house, and I was like, yeah, let's go and watch this. I've never even met a professional dart player at this point. And that was like quite fun. So I thought, we'll go and do that. That sounds like a good idea. And I spoke to the guy who was running it, and I was like, look, I like chalking. Could I come and chalk the games if that's all right? And obviously he was like, well, yeah, definitely. I'm gonna have to do it. So he gave me like free entry to the thing. And so I chalked 17 games of 701 Steve Beaton. And that was like the first time that I'd done anything like that. And then Steve brought another guy with him, actually, sort of like driving him around. His name was Scott Alexander, and he was one of the markers on the Pro Tour. So I spoke to Steve and I said, look, how do I become a marker? And he was like, actually, speak to him. He's the guy you want to speak to. So I went and spoke to this other guy called Scott, and he put me in touch with another guy called Dave Armett. And he was kind of like the guy who ran everything on the Pro Tours, all the markers side of things. And he just said, just come along to an event. You don't get paid for it or anything. It's all voluntary. But if you want to do it, come along, and we'll see if you're any good. See if you can do it. So I kind of I turned up to the K2 Arena at Crawley when I think I just turned 18. Turned up to that. I got put on a board with another marker so they could just like watch and make sure I wasn't absolutely dreadful. And it went really well. And then from there, I just kind of like worked my way up to the sort of like one of the main guys on the Pro Tour. And I was doing the stream boards every week. I was doing at least one final every week. And it was really good. So it was a bit of a climb, bit of a grind. But yeah, I'm glad I did it. I learned so much, and I met so many people doing that.
Would you ever go back to it?
I wouldn't now, no. It's a little bit clicky. It was anyway.
100%.
And I kind of like, the reason I quit was I got to the point where I felt like I wasn't going to go anywhere. I was kind of promised. I was promised on 3 different occasions that I was going to be the next person to do the TV stuff, and then 3 people went in front of me who were sort of like more matey with the people running it. And there was one point where I turned on my TV, because I said about a year before to like my mum, dad, and girlfriend, I was like, look, if I see this person on TV, that's me done. I'm done. I'm not gonna like whatever. I felt like there's no option of going anywhere from here if that happens, and it's the 3rd time, and I was like, right. So anyway, it was like the UK Open was on TV. This is like 2017, 18 maybe. And the show started at 7 p.m. our time. And I'd quit marking by 11 minutes past 7. And that was me. I was like, that's me done. I've had enough.
Yeah. No, I get that now. I think like it is very like that. Like you can see but that's what everything, I guess there's a click. It is when did they make the switch? Because it's all Dart Connect tablets now, isn't it? It wasn't.
So the switch happened like six Pro Tours before I quit. It come in that year for like the 2 UK Open qualifiers, and then the UK Open happened, and then that's when I quit. But I must admit, Dart Connect for a viewer is the best thing that's happened in Dart for such a long time. Like there's not been anything like that that's really had that much of an impact on the viewership side of darts. But I've always had like really neat handwriting. I've always been really good at the math side of things. And I just found that having a machine do the maths for you sort of like it took the fun out of it for me. Because I was like, I always prided myself on being really, really good. And that was my thing, was I was really, really good. And then all of a sudden there's no skill involved anymore, really. You just type in the numbers and it does everything else for you.
Yeah, because obviously, like everything's moving that way where we're getting more automation. I'm surprised that they still on the stage have chalkers and not just the caller, if you know what I mean. Because obviously in Lakeside for a while they had, and most of the WDF events, any ones I've been to, anyways, they just have the caller and then they'll just have a screen. Same thing in the Modus, isn't it? With the scores that are left. Do you think that'll ever change, or do you think the kind of showmanship of having the two chalkers on stage will stay?
Yeah, so I don't think it will change. I think darts looks better with that many people on stage, all doing their individual little jobs. And I'd also say once you get to like a point where you just don't make mistakes, you're so good at it, you don't make mistakes. Like I would say if I marked 1,000 games of darts and someone did the computer for 1,000 games of darts, the computer would break before I would.
Yeah.
So like whether it's like the battery runs out or something, or the internet goes, like something would go wrong with that before I made a mistake doing the scoring.
That's a live stream idea. Just you versus like you just standing there being fed like drip IV of Red Bull. Yeah, you're just like, oh.
I marked 1,000 games of darts, and here's how it went.
Who wins, me or AI? But no, I think like as you said, because I think someone like, to be fair to Barry Hearn, like and Matt Porter, like they do like keeping. I know like darts is moving further afield and there's more money coming in different directions, but they do like keeping the showmanship of the sport, which is nice. And yeah, I think practically you can get rid of the chalkers, but I think from a sentimental value and like a viewership value, it's nice to have them in there, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, without a doubt.
So then getting into YouTube, then what made you start YouTube? Because obviously, like everyone, let's call a spade a spade. You probably, maybe you'd say it yourself, you're like, I guess, the first person to bring YouTube to darts. And what I mean by that is, and I know you'll get what I mean when I say it, is like before that, there were people making videos on YouTube for darts, but you're the first person to bring the whole concept of, I guess, like popular YouTube to darts, whether that be changing the thumbnails, looking at the the format of the content. It's not just like set a camera. So today, guys, here's what we'll be doing. It's very like it's clickbaity in a way, but you know, to actually get people interested and enthusiastic, and even just doing challenges and stuff like that. Before you just get someone putting up a video in the shed, just say you hang a dartboard. Here's me throwing darts, etc., etc. What made you want to do that? And with that, did you ever think it would get as far as it has today?
So sort of how I started it was I've always been interested in YouTube. Like I posted my first YouTube video, I think it was like 15 years ago. And I've always just loved watching YouTube stuff. So I had a channel when I was at school where I used to just do like silly things in the school playground and stuff. And then I got a bit older, and then I got involved in like gaming YouTube, so like Call of Duty, and then Fortnite come out, and then I played Fortnite. So I kind of like when I was doing the gaming stuff, I think that channel's got about 2,000 subscribers on it, but I uploaded like 500 videos. So I really grinded on it. It didn't really go anywhere.
Of course.
But I really learned how to edit videos and how to make thumbnails off the back of that YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So I got to the point where it was like, I just finished the marking and stuff, and I didn't really know what. I was kind of like, I always liked doing the YouTube stuff, so I thought we'll do another YouTube channel, because the gaming one sort of died a bit, to be honest. So I thought, well, I can if I start a new channel, I've either got to do gaming again, or I've got to find something else that I'm interested in that would be an interesting channel. And the difficult decision was, if I want to be this big famous YouTuber that I've always wanted to do, I've like gaming, the limit is like 100 million subscribers probably realistically. Whereas darts, the only people who really had darts content who had a few subscribers were Darts Planet TV. Do you remember them?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
they had about 8,000 subscribers. So I was like, do I go down the route of something that I know really, really well, and maybe the limit is like 10,000 subscribers? Or do I gamble it and go down the route of something that is like so volatile, and you're either going to succeed massively or you're going to fail massively, and do the gaming? And I
Yeah.
thought, well, I've already done gaming. I've tried it before. It didn't really work. I can't see it happening again. Whereas it's not like it's not going to magically work this time. So I thought I'll just do the darts. And like the goal was like maybe like 5,000 to 10,000 subscribers. I thought that might be like the upper limit of what was achievable on there. And then I started making videos. Started off quite well the first few months. Got to about 2,000 subscribers, and then lockdown hit, and then it was like 7,000-8,000 subscribers a month for like 3 or 4 months, and that was kind of like where everything took off.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
lockdown was another, like, I think there's two peaks in darts, and one of them was lockdown, because like a lot of people got into darts then because you're stuck in your house or you can only go so far. You're not going to be on playing footy with your mates, particularly when you couldn't leave your house at the time. Like,
yeah,
darts is just such a nice game for that. And I think I started watching your videos around lockdown, or maybe, which is mad, that's 4 years ago now,
I
which is
know.
like, I
Yeah,
only got a memory about that the other day. I'm like, fucking hell, it's been 4 years since that all that stuff happened. Um, with that, what's your kind of favorite content to create at the moment? I know you like streaming, vlogs. Like, if you would say, listen, because I don't know, I don't like, a lot of people would agree with me, but I feel like you do. I don't like editing videos, and that's probably
yeah.
one
I,
of the
I
biggest
quite enjoy
reasons.
it. You can
Yeah,
kind of put your own little spin on things, and like did you ever play? Did you ever play Fortnite?
I used to. No, I've never played Fortnite ever. I
Never.
used
Oh,
to.
okay.
Oh, as a
Well,
kid
I
though,
posted.
like, I used to do COD videos and FIFA
Oh,
videos and
okay.
things like that.
But yeah, I just find that with editing, you can just put your own little. You can put your own little bit of personality into a video.
Yeah,
That's what I quite enjoy. Little tiny things that only maybe 5% of the audience will pick up on, but when they do pick up on it, it's like that's quite cool, because I like,
yeah,
they know me well enough to know that that was an inside joke for like a small amount of us.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, things like that. I do quite enjoy the editing and putting my own little bits in there.
So your favorite kind of like types of content? I know you started kind of like the pub team series recently. What's your kind of favorite type to make then?
So I would say my favorite type to make is my favorite type to make is I sit here and I tell Ash to do something and he does it. Because it's
Yeah,
so easy. That's my favorite
yeah,
thing to
yeah,
make. My favorite thing to watch back though is the vlogs.
yeah,
Like going out to tournaments or going out to like matches and stuff, and like I could watch my own videos back and I won't find them boring after like the third time I've gone through it
yeah.
on the edit and stuff. So yeah, the vlogs are good, and I feel like I do something on YouTube that no one's done before, and then people start doing it, and then I just do another thing on YouTube that no one's done before, and I feel like the vlogs are still in that sort of stage where not many other people are doing it yet.
Yeah,
So when
yeah.
it does, I'll be bored shitless of them, and I'll probably do something else. But for now, there aren't many people doing the vloggy stuff, which is why I
Mhm.
really enjoy doing it, because I'm unique again until
Yeah.
it gets taken, and then I'm not unique anymore. I have to come up with something else.
Yeah, I think the vlogs are such like an underrated one. I always say, like, even like, I know with their contracts with streaming and things like that, the PDC, like the pros can only show so much, but behind the scenes life stuff, I'm surprised more pros. Like, if Luke Littler started like a Sideman style vlogging channel, he doesn't need to, but if he
Oh yeah,
did, it
yeah.
would
If
be,
Luke if Luke could afford to pay someone 50 grand a
which he
year
can.
to film him every day and edit his
Yeah,
videos, which like he'd have 1 million subscribers within 6 months.
yeah.
He'd be earning probably 10 grand a day on views. Like you
And
just
sponsorships
no,
and everything.
yeah.
Like,
I feel like darts isn't quite there yet. They haven't quite. Darts hasn't really got the social media trend yet, but
yeah,
it's going. They're getting there, and
100%.
eventually it will get to that point, but they're just not quite there yet. So at the moment, I'm kind of like I'm mopping up. I'm like the most subscribed for now until someone like Luke decides to make a channel, and then I'll be the second most subscribed within about 2 weeks. But yeah, it's going to happen at some point. It's just people need to work out how to do it and sort of like make a plan for it and stuff. And as soon as someone tries it, that's going to be game over. It's going to be 20 Pro Tour players with vlogging cameras going around Barnsley or whatever.
I couldn't imagine that though. At the same time, like some people you can, but then like there's certain personalities. I'm like, like Bunting would do well because he has like a cult
he would
following.
do really well.
You know,
Yeah.
Even someone, because people would just be curious, and there's a bit of a cult behind him as well, as like Andrew Gilding. Like people would just be so curious, be like, what the fuck does that, like, what does he do with his day? Because there's that morbid curiosity in all of us where it's like we like to know. But like I could see a lot of people doing it, but then there's others I'm like, I don't want to. I don't know who's coming to mind now, but just off the top of my head, I'm like, I couldn't watch some of them vlog. MVG would be cool, but like he'd be so like detached from the camera. It'd be more like a follow him, if that made sense. I think we'd get like little close-ups of MVG giving little insights. He'd be like, what's this camera doing in my face all day?
Yeah, you need people who are going to be quite animated a little bit when it comes to stuff. Like I reckon Damon Heta would be really good.
Yeah, he'd be class. 100%.
I don't know what it is about him. He just comes across as someone who would just be good at that. So yeah, I think if like someone like him decided I want to do a YouTube channel and he just vlogged his day going around playing darts in tournaments and stuff and going to Pro Tours and stuff, like it's a no-brainer. But I just don't know why people aren't doing it yet.
Yeah, I think more so for like a lot of the lower ranked pros, particularly like outside the top 32, who they make money, but for some of them, like between taxes and expenses, they're not making a lot of money. If it wasn't for things like exhibitions and stuff like that, there's a lot of potential earnings to be made on social media, like ridiculously. So I like if I was like, let's say I just won a tour card, like not that it's gonna happen, but you know what I mean? Like I'd just be vlogging everything I could.
Yeah, 100%. So would I.
Yeah. With that, like what makes obviously for you it's different to every person, but what for you makes like a good video? Because I know sometimes there's like content creators, like I've been doing content in other niches for years. Like I used to own like a lot of Instagram pages back in the day, and I've been doing content for a while. But like you know yourself sometimes where you're like, this video is going to smack, and then you upload it and you're like, because you have to kind of be non-emotional at point, because otherwise you can be like, I put so much work into this video and it's flopped, and then you just like sometimes put up your camera, record something, you're like, what like why has that gotten so many views? What to you makes a good video?
So I mean, yeah, you've got the two different things, haven't you? You've got how much did you enjoy making it, and then how well did it perform? And it's like you can enjoy making a video as much as you want. Like the last video I did of the League Darts series. I think it's like a 10 out of 10. It is one of the worst videos I've uploaded in a long time, but I really enjoyed making it. I really enjoyed editing it and everything. So it's like, yeah, I enjoyed that, but that's not gonna help me very much in the growth of the channel. But then I uploaded another video yesterday, which was I literally walked into a shop, filmed for 2 minutes, come home, threw some darts. But that one, I was like, right, thumbnail's going to be this. It's going to be me in front of Sports Direct. It's going to be really clean. It's going to be like the Luke Littler darts are going to be on the side with an arrow. And I'm like, yeah, it wasn't that fun to make. It was just a video that I knew would do well. And I had the thumbnail pre-planned before I even started recording it and stuff. But I knew it would do well. And that's a 1 out of 10 at the moment. That's my best video I've uploaded in a few weeks.
Which is mad.
Yeah, you've either got to play to the algorithm or you've got to play to what you enjoy, or you've got to do a bit of both. I feel like I do a bit of both, but I must admit, if I get a good thumbnail idea in my head, I will then make a video around the thumbnail because I know that the thumbnail is going to bang, and that's going to do all the hard work. And then even if the video like isn't that great of a video, if I've got enough people in there, then some of them are going to enjoy it. Some of them are going to click off after 2 minutes and say this is boring. But yeah, so yeah, you have to just decide what you want to do. If you can do the algorithm and enjoy it at the same time, then you're laughing.
Yeah, I think it is like as you said there, it's like finding a balance between because you have to kind of fulfill both sides of it at the same time. Like I don't
Yeah,
post nearly enough than what I should, but I feel like for me, I'm just so it's my own excuses. There's no other reason for it here. I'm so like if I don't enjoy it, I won't do it, which is annoying, but it's how I am.
oh, I'm exactly the same. The
You
amount
know?
of times I've gone to film a video and Bob's is like, oh, how did it go? When's it going up? And I'm like, it's not going up.
It's not
Shit,
gonna
rubbish
yeah.
video. I look like an idiot in it. I played shit, or it didn't go well. And she's like, well, just post it. I'm like, I'm not posting that. It's rubbish. It's
Yeah.
absolute rubbish. And then
Yeah.
that's a video for that week or whatever that's now not going up because I just disliked it that much.
Yeah, it's weird because like sometimes like that like a part of me is just like just put it up anyways and let people decide if it's good. But it's like a weird block, I guess, you have as a. I hate saying the word creator, but if you're creating content by definition, you are a content creator. So with that, like I find that that's why I want to do the podcast. I don't think there's any darts podcasts. I know there's the darts show with the ones that the Emma Payton and Dan Dawson were doing. But I feel like that kind of died off around the worlds kind of after that. They still kind of do it every now and then, but something like this, it's just anything to keep it interesting. Because I assume like you've been doing it a lot longer myself. You posted how many videos on your channel roughly?
I think it's just over 600, and that's
Yeah,
just videos. That's not shorts or streams and stuff. So yeah, quite a lot of content.
yeah. Do you find it difficult to come up with ideas constantly then?
Um, I find it difficult to come up with good ideas. I've got loads of
Yeah,
ideas, and I've got a big list in my phone on my notes of ideas and stuff. And I'll try and pick up like one good one a week, just so that at least there's a good video going up. And then I'll try and do like some other ideas during that week. So I've just posted a video now. It went up 20 minutes ago, and it was like 5 sets of darts on Amazon for under 40 quid that you need. And it's like really
yeah,
simple video, but that's not going to beat the Sports Direct video from yesterday. It just won't.
yeah, yeah. But
So yeah,
you're posting like 3 4 times a week now, aren't you? More?
I know that's the thing is that I've got to now because
Yeah,
I'm now decided to go full time on the YouTube, and as much as I'd love to post once a week on YouTube, at full time I just can't. I can't
yeah.
afford I can't afford to live if I do that. So I need to do like the streams and stuff, and then also like I've just had a baby, so I've got
I
to
know.
like
Yeah,
really grind at what I'm doing to try and make something out of it. And then like on Monday, I had a video go up, and it was like a 10 out of 10. And I'm like, oh, I've fallen off. I'm gonna have to go back to work. And then yesterday, I have a video that does a 1 out of 10. It's on like 20,000 views after 20 hours. I'm like, oh, I'm back again. I'm back again. And then today's video, I've not looked at it yet. It's probably going to flop. And then I'm going to spend the rest of the evening deciding on whether I'm going to have bread for dinner or a steak. Like,
beans on toast. Yeah. For
exactly, yeah.
anyone, for anyone
It's
listening who
such
was
an
like, "What's he mean
emotional
by
roller
like?"
coaster.
It is, but it's part of the journey, I guess. For anyone listening who's like, "What do you mean by 1 out of 10 and a 10 out of 10?" And the YouTube Creator Studio, they basically rank your videos performance out of the last 10. So 1 out of 10 is a good thing, not a bad thing, and a
Yeah.
10 out of 10, unfortunately, is not what we don't like to see on a video. You know, um, what do you think makes a viral video then? I know we talked about a good video, but what do you think makes a viral video? And like I guess that's different for everyone. Like what do you mean by viral? But like for yourself, it's probably something that breaks 100K views or something like that, right?
Yeah. For me, if you were to go on my channel and sort by popular, you will quickly notice a trend. The videos at the top have good thumbnails. The thumbnails are very, very good. And then you look at some of the videos that are like, the problem is if I can't come up with a good thumbnail, I just know that the video is not going to do as well. But if I have a thumbnail in mind before I even make the video, I'm like, yeah, this will do. This will do well. So for me, it's literally make them as clickable as possible, and yeah, try and get a good concept in there. But
Yeah.
if you can make them as clickable as possible, they'll do well.
And you do all of your editing, all of your thumbnails, everything. You don't outsource any of that.
No, none of it. I've tried outsourcing the thumbnails, but like I paid someone $35, I think, to make me a thumbnail, and I was like, I can make that in Paint. That's right, like not even in Photoshop. So I've kind of
Yeah.
like I've stopped it. There is one guy who does a lot of thumbnails for a lot of people who I speak to every now and then, But he is a little bit more expensive. But I think if I get to the point where it makes sense to get him in, then I'll start using someone else for them. But these random people who reply to your messages on Twitter, it's just not worth it. They're just not that good. And the problem is you have a concept in your head of how you want it to look, and then they do it, and it's like, well, that's not what I want. So you don't even end up using their stuff.
It is.
It's all part of it. It's all part of like the journey. You learn how to do this, that, and the other. You learn what works. If you look at my thumbnails from 4 years ago, you'd be like, wow, they're dreadful, but then they're a lot better now. But then in 4 years' time, I'll probably look at the thumbnails I've made now and think, wow, they're awful. But
yeah. But it's all kind of like relevant to the time, isn't it, as well? Like his thumbnails have changed so much. Like they need to be like Mr. Beast has changed YouTube for like what it needs to be. Like you're just fighting amongst the pit of like, you know, for everything. But don't get me wrong, like, because you have a bit of a following, people will watch your videos anyways. But to kind of go mainstream now, like you have those ridiculous thumbnails, or at least the most eye-catching, and when it comes to like a soapbox and things like that. For anyone who's starting or wants to start, because as you mentioned earlier, there's never like enough content creators, and I think it kind of, as the saying goes, a high tide rises all ships. With more content creators and more people that are creating content, it does, I think, benefit everybody. Particularly a lot of kids who would have been like ourselves when we were kids, just like, oh, I see these people doing that, I want to do that. What are some tips you'd give to people who want to kind of get into darts, social media, even if it's of a hobby, but that might set them up for success in the long
run? First thing, just post.
Yeah.
Don't stress about what it looks like, or if the audio is not good enough, or if it doesn't look like a Mr. Beast video. Like, just post, because you're only going to learn how to do these sort of things, the editing and stuff, and you're only going to learn how to make a thumbnail and how to like film, like learning how to film something, like walking around with a camera. You sort of like learn the angles that work better and look better on camera just through doing it. So first thing will be just post. Even if you don't think it's great, just post it. You can always start a new channel in a few months when you sort of like got to grips with it, if you think people aren't going to stick around for your old videos. But yeah, just learn it would be my first bit of advice. Another thing is, which is something I'm rubbish at, is just try and ignore negative comments. I'm so crap at that. Like, I let every
do they affect you? Yeah,
every comment hurts. Yeah, they all
really
hurt. Yeah.
But
kind of what's like, you do get a little bit. I'm definitely a lot more hardened to them now. I don't get many of them, but like 1 in 100 comments that's negative, I'll think about that comment for the next week.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you had any that like you kind of look back at and like laugh at? Like, I've had a few. I put up a video the other day, and like it wasn't really a hate comment, but it's like one that makes me laugh. It was like it was just me, a little TikTok video of me like at my throw from last year to this year, and one of the comments was like, you've changed race because like the lighting's different, and I'm just like, some like TikTok, like strictly TikTok, the comments are hilarious. Don't get me wrong, you always get the like your shit ones if you're throwing. I'm like, yeah, that's just because you're used to seeing professional players. Unfortunately, there is this thing called amateur darts. But yeah, to be fair to the darts community as well, the majority of comments will both say this, like, are overwhelmingly supportive and positive. But yeah, I get that. There's definitely going to be a few people who just, for the sake of it, just lay into you for whatever reason. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. But it's not if someone sends you something really, really nasty, like, that's absolutely fine. Like, I've got no problem with that. But it's when someone just picks out one tiny little thing, and I'm like, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. If someone said the worst things in the world to me, I'd be like, yeah, that's actually quite funny. Look, screenshot it, send it around. Look at this comment. But if someone sends me a comment where it's like, I don't know.
No, I get what you mean. Like, so basically, I'm saying your
like,
kryptonite,
personal.
Yeah, or your kryptonite is probably if someone attacks like the vlogging or like the actual editing of the video. Does that get to you as well?
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's constructive criticism, which is like absolutely fine. Like, I had someone comment on a video the other day. I did like I got some new darts. That was it. I got some new darts, and I was like, how can I make this fun? I was like, well, we'll just film the day. So I went and like took Luna to the field and threw the ball around for a couple of times. That's like
I saw that video.
45 seconds of the video, and then I showed like repointing them and taking the color off and like having a like whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, that's quite a fun little way of show. I could just sit there and just say, these are my new darts. I'm going to put 36 mil unicorn blutes in them, and then we're going to throw them. I'm like, that's just not my sort of thing. Then I had someone comment on it, and they were like, why have you shown us all of that rubbish? Like, we don't want to see your fucking dog. Like, what you should be doing is you should be unboxing them, talk about them, sort of like tell me what's good about them, and like what comes in the box, and then have a little throw with them and tell us what you think of them. I'm like, that's boring. That's so boring. I don't want to make that. I want to like, So yeah.
And yeah, like I think people as well who follow you, like, and that's the one thing. Like, it is your content. You have creative control. Like, I think they appreciate those. Like, 'cause I watched that video and I was like, this is just like, because it makes it more relatable. It's a lad going about his day, walking a dog. If you have a dog, just walking a dog, going out, and just taking you behind the scenes, which is, I think, where the curiosity people love doing that. Whereas if you're just standing there, you're like, these darts came, by the way, I repointed them, I took the paint off them, I'm gonna throw them now.
Yeah, it doesn't interest me at all.
No, not at all. So social media has obviously had a massive impact on darts. Do you think there's going to be any changes to the game that come about as like kind of the growth of social media continues? And what I mean by that is like, so we're just used to watching a 501 leg constantly, and I find that baffling, but we're so intrigued by it. You know, it doesn't change. The variables stay the exact same. Do you think there could be like a change in tournaments where there's some more, I'm not gonna say exhibition style stuff, but even something where like maybe they're like 701 legs or something changes, more like of like the Grand Prix where there's double in, double out. Maybe bring it back something that makes it a little bit more showman. Like, remember the Champions League of Darts, they used to have a belt and things like that. Do you think there's going to be any kind of new tournaments coming in, or do you have any you'd like to see over the next few years?
I think a lot of people have spoken about it, so this is by no means an original idea, but the whole Royal Rumble style darts thing would be cool. I think that's the only thing that hasn't been done that would work really well that I could think of. Other than that, I don't really know what else. To be honest, the beauty of 501 is the 9 darter. Like, if you did 701, I don't know, what is it, like 11 or 12 or something? I don't know what it is. Whatever the best leg you can do in 701, maybe it's 13. Like, no one's like
180, 180, 180, and then 161 would it be?
Yeah, is that it? Is that the maths?
12, yeah.
No one's getting excited for a 13 dart 701. It's just not that fun. I've seen a 14 dart 701 actually. Someone hit one against me once, which is like the best leg of darts I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, no one's really excited. Like, people aren't throwing beer around in the venue for a 13 dart 701. I just don't think it will happen. Not as much as they would for a 9. So I can't see that happening. But the Royal Rumble thing, I think, is a good idea.
So for people who don't know what the Royal Rumble of darts is, explain that really quickly.
So the Royal Rumble idea is from like the WWE, the wrestling and stuff. And you start off with 2 people, and then more people get involved. In darts, it would have to be one person loses and one person jumps in, and it'd be like one leg. So you'd have like, I don't know, Michael Van Gogh versus Scott Williams to start, and then Michael beats Scott, and then down.
You don't know who comes out.
Down the walkway comes like, I don't know, Dimitri Vandenberg, and then it's one leg, Dimitri Vandenberg versus Michael Van Gogh, and then you just keep going until like however many people, 30 people or whatever.
Yeah,
I think it'd be good.
Do like the top 32 in the world, and then just obviously you're gonna know who the first 2 are. Well, you're not, but like once they come out, you're gonna know who they are. And then after that, after every leg, the lights go out. The other player who loses rushes off the stage, and then you just get the music of the next person just come in, and they just keep going. That would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that hasn't been done that there's space for it somewhere on the calendar.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know if I want to support this or not. I think it's good for the players, more money and things like that. But that could be one event that you could hold in like Saudi Arabia if they ever move there or things like that. You know what I mean? Because it's so out there that maybe there's no even ranking points or anything to it. It'll just be like a World Series kind of off event, but the winner gets like I don't know. Well, what's the Royal Rumble winner just gets a WrestleMania gig, isn't that what it goes like?
Yeah, I think so.
So maybe they get like I don't know, they get something that make it really cool, like a golden set of darts or something. That'd be sick. 24 karat gold darts.
For it.
Yeah, I think that could be cool. I know we're obviously we've talked a lot about social media. Do you kind of see any weird, like, you do have fans at this stage? You have to say that. I know you mightn't like saying it, but you do have people who enjoy your content and kind of wait for the sub box. Oh, you posted another video. Have you had any weird fan interactions at all in public? Obviously online it's different, but in public at all?
Not really. The thing is, if I get recognised, I get recognised because I'm at darts. But
Yeah.
I've had it twice where I've been somewhere else and I've been recognised from YouTube. That was, funnily enough, one of them was a Tesco Express, the other one was a big Tesco's. They're the only times I've ever been recognised outside of like playing darts somewhere or being at a darts event. But no, not really. Not really had any weird ones. They've all been pretty normal, I guess.
Pretty standard. That's fair enough. With the vlogging then, and what this like kind of you moved into vlogging, did you have like, obviously there was, at the time there was no real darts inspirations to start your videos? Did you have like a vlogging or a YouTuber that you like really liked the style of, or you wanted to kind of emulate in any way?
No one in particular. I can't say I watch I watch loads of people who do vloggy sort of stuff, to be honest. But I just watch a lot of YouTube. Like I'll sit at home and I'll watch YouTube over TV every single time. So I just kind of like just picking up little bits and pieces off other people that I watch. I probably like base my stuff on that without even realizing that I do it. But I just try and film what I think is interesting or what people might want to see, and I try and act how people want me to act, I guess, or how I think is normal to vlog. Like I could walk around and sort of like hide the camera and not chat. Like I would chat a lot louder and a lot clearer and a lot more animated walking through a shopping center with a camera in my hand than I would if I didn't have one. So whether it's you're putting it on or what, but you've got to kind of act in a certain way, or else the video is a little bit less entertaining.
Yeah, it is weird. It's one of those things when you have like whether we just hit record on this or whether we just have a camera there in front of us. You do like, it's not that you're being a different person. You're the same person. You just have to. You guess you just have to be more enthusiastic, more charismatic, because otherwise people won't watch. And I always find that weird. Like the same thing. If I go out, like I'm not quiet, but if I go out and vlog somewhere, you just have to. It's so weird. Like it's not like it gives you power or anything like that, but like you have to kind of like. You think, oh, that's mad walking into a shopping center, but yeah, you can just do that, and the power of the camera, as you say, is a weird kind of thing. But people do it all the time now because people are so used to like FaceTiming and stuff. I'm surprised more people don't have like personal brands or YouTube channels, because like everyone is used to speaking in front of the camera, you know, in this day and age. Are there any trends that you predict for darts in the future, or anything you think that's currently like slept on? I know there's things like Scolies and stuff. I have one myself. As you can see, I'm using a stand at the moment. I don't use it. Is there anything like that do you think will really kind of either change the darts way darts is played, or you just like think it's going to be cool for the sport in general?
I don't know, to be honest. It's hard to say, because if I knew the answer, I'd have made it, or I'd have done it myself. But I mean, like the recent trend at the moment is like there's sort of like the K flexes and stuff, and they're really popular. And then like this whole Swiss point idea. I think Target are quite good at coming up with ideas. So I feel like if anyone's going to come up with something new, it's probably be Target. But to be honest, I don't really know. I've got no idea. I just wait to see for something to come out, and hopefully it's a good idea and I like it. But yeah, I've got no idea. 'Cause if I did have an idea, I'd have done it. So
fair. And then where do you see your own channel in the next year to 2 years? Because obviously, you've only been full time at this properly like a month now, right?
yeah, 8 weeks. Yeah.
2 months. So where do you see the next 6 months to a year for the darts referee? Obviously, apart from hitting 100K subs.
Yeah, that's the main goal. But I've got another series that I want to do, but it's going to take a bit of effort to make it happen. But I think if I can pull it off, it'll be really, really good. So hopefully, you'll start seeing some videos from that soon.
Any insights? Any exclusives?
I'm gonna have to say no.
Giving it away.
I'm going to give it away with one word.
Okay, fair.
So I'll just leave it. But yeah, I just want to continue to sort of come up with series ideas and stuff, because the thing is, if you can come up with a series idea, you can get 20 videos out of it, which is like really, really good, as long as people enjoy it and stuff. 100K definitely, although I did think I'd do it this year. I now don't think I'll do it this year. I think darts gets to sort of like this time of year every single year, and it just kind of like slows down a bit. So having the baby, I took a few weeks off, and I kind of like lost the momentum a bit. So I'm trying to rebuild the momentum now by uploading like every day almost. But yeah, I don't really know. Hopefully we're still going in a year's time. Hopefully we've not been demonetized or something.
Yeah, that's the worst fear, I think. Particularly if you're relying on YouTube, it's like fuck. But sponsors and things like that come into play as well. Have you ever got? I haven't seen them in your videos, but you haven't been reached out to by anyone like Manscaped or anything? They seem to sponsor fucking everybody.
No Manscaped. I did one video for NordVPN about 4 months ago, and I've still not got paid for that. So hopefully that comes in soon. But other than that, yeah. Other than that, no. I just don't. I don't really think the sponsorship's there yet. But I don't think it's far away. I don't think it's far away, but I don't think it's quite there. But it will come.
I do think 100K. I can see it. You know yourself. End of November, once the Grand Slam happens, and we move towards the Players Championship finals, things like that. December, I can see the 100K easily for yourself, and I'm excited for it. And I think for anyone who hasn't seen Jack's channel, who's listening or watching, they probably have. It's probably how they found myself. I don't know. Be sure to go over and check Jack's content. Do you wish I asked you any questions? Is there anything you would have liked to talk about today, Mr. Langston?
I don't know. We went through quite a bit, to be honest. I think we spoke about a lot. There's nothing on the top of my head I can think of. So yeah, well interviewed.
Fantastic. So then if people want to find you, if they're not already following you, where will they find you?
I'm on pretty much everything. My account is going to be the Darts Referee for everything. So you can find me wherever you like. Mainly on YouTube, but everywhere else.
Where do you respond most? Twitter?
Twitter, yeah, 100%.
You're
not
gonna
Instagram,
get influx.
as you found out.
But I just use Instagram. I'm just like I'm a Gen Z or whatever we call ourselves. I don't even know what it is. But yeah, other than that, Jack, congrats again on fatherhood. I hope yourself and Bob's are keeping well with the baby. Probably won't be long until we have a little baby throwing darts, eh? But not, it's not the safest, so maybe not. But again, I appreciate all the time you've given me today. If you're not already following Jack, go over and check his channel. If you did enjoy the video, please do like or share with a friend. Comment what you found insightful or what you liked from this video. And if you have any other suggestions for guest ideas, please leave them in the comments. But other than that, until next time.